Hello everyone, welcome back to Cookbook Chronicles. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new cookbook by Sohla El-Waylly, an incredibly talented chef who hosts many YouTube video series for the History Channel, NYT Cooking, my favorite being Mystery Menu with her husband Ham. Then on HBO Max she is one of the judges for The Big Brunch. Today we are going to be going over the basics of shortbread, lemon curd, and crumbles, then transforming them into what you see here, Sohla's being on the left, which are the magical matcha lemon bars, and I'll be taking her advice and doing what chefs do best, gathering some inspiration from this recipe, and doing my riff, which is creating an horchata bar. Sohla's background is what truly sets her apart from other YouTube personalities and or YouTube chefs. Not only is she a classically trained chef who went to culinary school at the CIA in New York, but she's also worked at some Michelin star restaurants and even owned her own restaurant for a short while. She worked at StartHere and Del Posto in New York. StartHere isn't your typical cookbook. Sohla doesn't just want you to follow instructions, she wants to teach you exactly how to cook. You don't get thrown into a kitchen and expect to know how to make a souffle off the bat, or break down a chicken, or even braise short ribs. The book focuses on techniques and building a base of knowledge so you can become confident in cooking in the kitchen, whether it be in a restaurant or even at home. And also, the book is great for explaining the why behind the how, and this breaks down core techniques across dozens of themed chapters, such as break it down and get saucy and go to Browntown. They delve deep into the specific technique and explains their purpose on impact and flavor. This approach encourages experimentation and a way to improvise in your own kitchen. Another highlight is that not only is this a savory cookbook, but it's also a pastry book, and it gets equal attention with Sohla offering informative chapters on doughs and pastry. She covers classics like shortbread, which you're watching here, but also presents unique creations like fruity doodle cookies, bursting with flavor, and gives specific tips on how to avoid common pitfalls. However, with those pitfalls, Sohla encourages failure and learning from that failure. With StartHere, you're just going to learn a lot of valuable techniques and lessons, and also discover new flavor combinations. As you continue watching this video, you'll see the flavor combination that I'm coming up with for my horchata-bars, and I am basically taking all the flavors and components of making horchata and transforming it into this pastry. With over 200 recipes and 600 pages worth of information, the book does seem quite daunting at first. However, it is a great resource to have in your cookbook collection. As you continue watching, I have the ingredients for not only Sohla's shortbread, lemon curd, and the matcha crumble. I will be posting it in the description and the video below, and also will be posting the recipe for my horchata bars in the description below as well. One tip I highly suggest is making sure that the shortbread is fully cool before you attempt to remove it from the pan. As you saw previously, it kind of curled up a little bit, and luckily it didn't break, but I needed to use that same pan to make my horchata inspired shortbread. So learn a lesson from me and make sure that that tray is nice and cold before you attempt to pull out the shortbread. If you haven't already and you've enjoyed this video so far, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you have any questions on my recipe or any part of the video that may be confusing to you, let me know in the comments and I will answer as quickly as possible. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching me make these two recipes. When making this crumble, or any crumble, you want it to be able to hold together just firmly enough so that when you go to crumble it, it crumbles and it holds together kind of like wet sand, maybe a little bit better. When you pour the curd into the pan, you'll want to make sure that you get it as even as you possibly can. I couldn't for the life of me find my offset spatula when I was doing the lemon curd, but eventually found it for when I did my horchata curd, I guess you could call it, custard. But yes, try to get it as flat as you possibly can. This way it's even when you go to cut it eventually. This shot is when it chilled overnight in the refrigerator. It's a little stuck, so I use my offset spatula and get it unstuck from the sides. And this happens, it's perfectly fine, but you have the parchment there to assist you in lifting it out of the pan. I know that it seems too good to allow it to sit overnight, but trust me, you must let it rest, otherwise it won't set, and it'll just be disastrous trying to, one, get it out of the pan, and two, trying to cut it into even squares. So let it rest overnight in the fridge. And if you're wondering, yes, this is my very first time making lemon bars, or a version of a lemon bar. And I don't think I did that bad of a job. It looks nice and even, it tasted delicious. I couldn't have picked a more fun and exciting recipe to play around with than these matcha lemon bars. Now we're going to get into the toasted rice shortbread, which is going to be my recipe riff of Sohla's shortbread, lemon curd, and matcha crumble. And we're starting off with the toasted rice shortbread, which will be followed by the horchata crumble, and then the almond milk curd, I guess I want to call it. I'm not 100% sure what it is. It's an almond custard, so I guess curd works. Or custard, I don't know. I'm confusing myself, but let's just say that it's going to be an almond milk custard to make it easy. See, here I finally found my offset spatula, and it made making this even so much easier. I was extremely happy with how these turned out, and excuse me hitting the camera repeatedly, I still haven't figured out how to record and cut stuff in front of me, but look how even that came out, and it was again just delicious. And this is kind of how I guess work with coming up with ideas for recipes, is I'll think of something that I like, whether it be a beverage, a dessert, or just flavor combinations in general. And I'll take a few days to really think about how I'm gonna transform a dish and make it something that I could call my own. Overall, I highly suggest you get Sohla's cookbook. because you could create recipes like this by just taking time and gaining inspiration with what she recommends in the book. She'll give you little, tips and tricks on how you could transform her recipes and again, making them your own. One last time, thanks again for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you haven't, please like, subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm, helps me out, and I look forward to doing some more recipes from Sohla's cookbook. I'm not sure how many more I'm gonna do, but I do have ideas and videos I've been working on already. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you back here shortly. Thank you.